Have you ever noticed how the most boring explanation is always the hardest one to sell? If I tell you that life is just a chaotic series of random events managed by tired people who are mostly guessing, you probably want to turn this off. But if I tell you there is a hidden, secret system, a master key that unlocks absolute control over your taxes, your destiny, and the universe, suddenly you are leaning in.
Absolutely. We do not just want answers, we want premium answers. The standard version of reality is too messy, too slow, and frankly, too exhausting. We want the shortcut, the VIP pass, the director's cut that explains all the plot holes of daily existence. It is the difference between working out for 5 years or buying a magical vibration plate that promises abs while you watch television.
Exactly. And this desire for premium answers takes us down some of the strangest rabbit holes on the internet. This week, I found myself looking at two completely different worlds that, on the surface, have nothing in common. On one hand, you have people who believe the government is secretly a corporation and that magic legal words can exempt them from paying taxes. On the other hand, you have high-end, premium spirituality that promises to unlock your DNA and upgrade your soul for the price of a luxury vacation.
It sounds like a bizarre pairing, but they run on the exact same fuel: absolute, unwavering confidence. It is the kind of certainty that defies all external evidence. Let us look at the legal side first, the movement often referred to as sovereign citizens. The core idea is that the laws of the land do not apply to you unless you consent to them, or unless the government spells your name in a very specific way on a document.
It is essentially legal fan fiction. People spend hours researching old treaties, grammar rules, and capitalization, convinced they have found a loophole in the source code of society. My absolute favorite part of this is how often they bring up maritime law. You could be looking at a dispute over a speeding ticket or a failure to register a vehicle in a landlocked state, and suddenly someone is arguing that the gold fringe on the courtroom flag means they are technically on a ship in international waters.
It is a fascinating leap of logic. The idea is that because the flag has fringe, it is an admiralty court, which means land laws do not apply. You have to wonder what actual sea captains think about this. Imagine navigating a massive cargo ship through a storm, only to find out your true calling was helping someone avoid a municipal parking fine.
The courtroom videos are where this theory meets reality in the most dramatic way. You have these incredibly patient judges who have seen it all, and then a defendant walks in and announces that they do not consent to the proceedings because their physical body is separate from their legal entity. They argue that the person named on the summons is a corporate shell, not the flesh and blood human standing in the room.
And the judge just looks over and says, "That is very interesting, but you still cannot drive 80 miles an hour in a school zone." That is the fundamental flaw in these theories. Reality does not negotiate. You cannot uninstall gravity, you cannot unsubscribe from the legal system, and you cannot convince the local transit authority that your car is actually a sovereign vessel operating under the Treaty of Utrecht.
But why do people believe it so passionately? It is because the alternative is admitting that the system is just a massive bureaucratic machine that does not care about your personal philosophy. If you get a ticket, it is not because of a grand conspiracy. It is just because you broke a rule, and now you have to pay. That is boring. But if you are a legal rebel fighting a secret corporate empire, suddenly you are the hero of an action movie.
It gives you agency. It turns a mundane, frustrating interaction with a government office into a battle for human freedom. And that brings us directly to the other side of this coin: premium spirituality. This is the world of high-ticket manifestation courses, energy alignment retreats, and spiritual upgrades. It takes the very real, human desire for inner peace and packages it like a Silicon Valley software update.
It really does feel like a corporate product launch sometimes. You are no longer just meditating or trying to be a kinder person. Now, you are upgrading your internal software, clearing ancestral trauma blockages, and ascending to spiritual level 9. It is enlightenment, but with cloud synchronization and a monthly subscription fee.
The language they use is brilliant. It blends psychology, quantum physics, and ancient mysticism into this highly polished jargon. If you ask a traditional philosopher how to find peace, they might tell you it takes decades of self-reflection, discipline, and suffering. If you ask a premium spiritual coach, they will tell you that you just need to align your frequency with abundance, which conveniently requires buying their $1,000 masterclass.
It is the ultimate insider club. And humans love jargon because jargon creates boundaries between those who know and those who do not. Every industry does this. Lawyers do it, doctors do it, and marketers definitely do it. If a company wants to say they sold more burgers, they do not say people were hungry. They say they achieved synergistic acceleration and cross-channel consumption velocity.
Exactly. Jargon makes you feel like you have unlocked the secret code. In premium spirituality, using terms like quantum leaping or vibrational alignment makes the practitioner feel like a scientist of the soul. In the sovereign citizen movement, using terms like common law jurisdiction or non-resident alien makes the individual feel like a master attorney. In both cases, the jargon is a shield against the messy, unpredictable nature of the real world.
It is a way to find patterns where there might not be any. We are pattern recognition machines. We look at the stars and see constellations. We look at history and see grand designs. It is deeply comforting to believe that someone or something is in control. Even if that control is malevolent, like a secret government conspiracy, it is still preferable to the alternative.
The alternative being that the world is run by millions of imperfect, tired people who are just making it up as they go along. Most institutions are not grandmaster chess players. They are group projects. And anyone who has ever participated in a group project knows that human beings are simply not organized enough to maintain a massive, centuries-long secret conspiracy. Someone would have forgotten to attach the email document. Someone would have leaked the secret on social media just to win an argument.
That is the ultimate truth of it. The complexity of the world is overwhelming, so we create stories to make sense of it. And the stories that survive are not necessarily the ones that are true. They are the ones that make us feel good, or the ones that give us a sense of control. A scientific study that takes 20 years and concludes with a cautious, nuanced statement does not get clicks. A video with dramatic music that promises to reveal the one secret they do not want you to know gets millions of views.
Because certainty sells. Doubt is uncomfortable. Saying I do not know is one of the hardest things for a human being to do. So instead, we invent explanations. We build these elaborate structures of belief to protect ourselves from the wind. Sometimes those structures are harmless, like believing a specific crystal will bring you wealth. Sometimes they are harmful, like refusing medical treatment or getting arrested because you thought a magic word would make you immune to the law.
So what is the takeaway here? Is it that we should mock these beliefs? Or is it that we need to look at ourselves and realize how vulnerable we all are to the promise of easy answers?
I think it is the latter. We all have our own version of this. Maybe you do not believe in maritime law, but maybe you believe that buying a specific brand of organizer will finally fix your chaotic life. Maybe you do not buy premium spiritual upgrades, but you buy productivity hacks that promise to turn you into a superhuman efficiency machine. We are all looking for the secret code.
That is a very fair point. The desire is universal. Only the expression changes. The next time someone tells you they have discovered the one secret that explains absolutely everything, whether it is about the universe, the government, or why your life is not perfect, it is probably time to take a step back.
Be curious, ask questions, but remember that if a theory explains everything, it usually explains nothing. And if someone tells you that you can avoid a speeding ticket by writing your name in red ink, maybe just pay the fine. It is much cheaper than hiring a maritime lawyer.
That is definitely the most practical advice we have ever given on this show. Let us hope we do not need to test it anytime soon.
Let us hope not. Until next time, keep asking questions and keep your feet firmly on dry land.